Hey y'all, I was sitting here thinking about how guardians love to be in your business and your family business, how they love to come by your house, search illegally, take pictures without your permission, make up lies about what's going on in the house. Even though you tell them, well, the people that's supposed to fix the house aren't doing it, the other members of the court as a trustee isn't fixing the house, or they bought a house that was already messed up. And then they try to blame you. They want to spy on you like you're some type of criminal on probation, like you did something wrong with somebody. And I just find it weird that they don't have any oversight hardly. For what I've seen, there's no oversight bodies, at least in Michigan, that focuses on public guardians to see what they're doing. I don't see them getting any audits. I don't see them having any limits on how many cases they can have. I don't see the court investigating the property, because you tell the court the guardian not doing what it's supposed to do, the court usually ignores you and listens to the guardian. Even if you have evidence, it's so bad that like even if you have evidence that they're doing something wrong and you ask for evidentiary hearing, they don't want to give it to you. And I know this for a fact because this happened in my sister's case. The judge in her case at the time, Judge David Braxton, was asked more than once for evidentiary hearings for different reasons, but he didn't want to give it to us because he knew we had evidence to show what the guardian was doing was wrong, what the trustee was doing was wrong, and so on and so forth. So, and not only isn't there enough oversight of guardians, but I haven't really found any research for real to see how many cases particular people have as professional guardians or public guardians, how many people are under the guardianship of public guardians, how many people have reported abuse by public guardians, so on and so forth. So this needs to change. There needs to be more oversight bodies to check guardians when they're doing something wrong, to take away their ability to be guardians. There needs to be limited cases that they have. There needs to be audits of their files. There needs to be people outside that talk to the people that are under guardianship and their family members to see their perspective on how the guardian is doing. They need to get checked in every sense of the word. And then they also need proper training. They need to be trained in the fact that people have due process rights no matter their ability or disability, no matter their age, no matter their color of their skin or whatever's going on. They have due process rights, and they need to respect that. They need to not only be trained on how to be a guardian, how to run a guardianship business or whatnot, but they also need to be trained on the consequences that happen to them if they don't do what they're supposed to. For instance, they need to be able to train them so they can get license and certification. They need to renew their license every so often, like social workers do and whatnot. They need to be audited, like I said earlier. They need oversight from regular folks, not just other public guardians. Because we all know how that goes. When you let people be the oversight or the policing themselves, it doesn't usually work out well. So in all areas of oversight, they need people from the public to be involved, because they do this thing where they think they're supposed to do what they want to do. They're not, because all the people that they're treating this way are members of the public. And they're members of the public, they have certain rights. We even are supposed to be the ones running the courtroom technically, because the courtroom is supposed to be for the people, not for the judge. If you look up ethical codes, I believe it's called Judicial Canyon or whatnot in Michigan, it says that somewhere, like how the judge is not supposed to act like it's just their courtroom or do stuff for their own benefit. They're supposed to do stuff for the people involved in the courtroom. But they don't always do that. So, like I mentioned in another video, I started a nonprofit called Eyes on Probate Action Against Abuse. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to legislate and take these things to the House and the Senate, whoever we need to take it to get these laws either put in place or get laws amended. So not only should they have laws that says that there should be oversight, and the oversight should contain people from the public and not just other guardians or other officers of the court, but also they should be all there every so often. They should be required to get training, to get certified, to become a guardian. Not only get certified, but have to take continuing education classes, to have people come by and talk to the family members and friends, to not be able to invade people's privacy and just because coming to the hospital, all they're doing is trying to make money for gas and traveling. Because we have technology now where they don't have to come to the house. They literally can use Zoom, but or other means, FaceTime or whatever, to see the home. And they shouldn't be allowed to ask to do certain things like go in your refrigerator and things of that sort. And basically violate your Fourth Amendment rights, because that's what they do. Like I said, they try to treat you like you have no right because they got this thing called civil death, which also needs to be eliminated. And they also need to do other things, such as do this thing they call registration. Basically, like if somebody get caught being a dirty guardian or doing stuff they're not supposed to do, like if they're abusing the person, exploiting the person or whatnot, they should be put in the registry. And they should be able to easily go look them up and see what they did, see how that case turned out, whatever. And then those people should no longer be allowed to practice being a guardian of anybody. In fact, if they have a business that consists of them being a guardian, I believe the business should be shut down. Because once they get caught abusing somebody, they no longer need to be the guardian of anybody. Because the guardian is supposed to protect, not prohibit the freedoms of the people that guardian, not hurt the people of the people that guardian, not go out of the way to hurt the family members. So I was just thinking about that. And I was just thinking about how there's a lack of oversight. And I know this for a fact because the real life things that happen in my family, where there's a lack of oversight. Guardians did things like took my sister's Social Security check. They invaded the home. They lied about the home, saying it was in bad condition when it wasn't. They tried to act like we don't have anything else to do. They just want to just pop up to the house or whatnot when they know they're not welcome. We made it abundantly clear that they're not welcome in the home. They wanted to assist them coming out to the home so they could get more kills money, because that's all it's about. And so on and so forth, because they keep talking about they worry about the safety of the kid, when clearly they're not, because they do things to put her in danger and to harm her mentally, such as having invaded the home, because they always try to do things like that, like invade the home, invade her privacy, whatnot. Kim made it abundantly clear and told them to their face she didn't want any guardian, she didn't need any guardian. Psychologist that's been a psychologist for like 30 years that specializes in guardianship evaluation and traumatic brain injury, which is what my sister has, said she didn't need a guardian. All that stuff goes ignored. They think they're supposed to be able to check us, invade our lives, invade our privacy, violate our Fourth Amendment rights, violate our due process rights and whatnot. But then they don't get enough oversight. They don't get investigated enough. They don't get enough training. That needs to change. Either that or they need to abolish the guardianship thing altogether. Because you think about it, people don't really need guardianship. If they have family that's helping them, they don't need guardianship. If you set certain things up in the system, like you set up their finances to pay bills, certain money, certain like stuff like that, they don't need anybody to do that. All they need is somebody to watch their finances and make sure money's not getting taken. Otherwise, they'll have a system sell your bill. You literally can set it up at your bank, online bill pay. Things of that sort. Your medical and things and this and that and the third. If the person can make informed decisions, like my sister can, they still should be able to make informed decisions about their medical. And they still should be able to write statements like what they want, what they don't want, such as if certain conditions happen, do you want somebody else to handle your medical conditions, so on and so forth. They don't want to let them do any of that. And instead, they want to just make decisions for them. And then they also act like there's not a such thing as supportive decision making, which means that you talk with the person, explain to the person the situation, what's going on, and then once you explain that to that person, you let them make their own decision. Because now they understand what's going on, they can make their own decision. They don't want to do that, even though it's been proven over and over again. My sister's more than capable of making her own decision. She told them to their face what she wanted. She didn't want a guardian, or if there was a guardian, she wanted either me to do it or her daughter to do it. And finally, a couple of years ago, her daughter was able to become a guardian. But yeah, I just think something needs to be done about that. Like, we need to go to the legislators and change the rules so they can get more oversight, so they could get checked when they do something wrong, so they could be held accountable. They need to be held accountable. They need to be more transparent with what they're doing. They need better training. They need to be more professional, because there's no point in calling yourself a professional when you're not professional, except for maybe a professional criminal, a professional rights violator, a professional thief, depending on what the guardian is doing wrong. So anyway, I just some thought that I had that I was thinking about that I thought I'd put out there.